All right. Hello again, everybody, and welcome to another exciting episode of The Tyranny of Dragons. You may notice that I sound slightly different than I normally do, and most of that is because I'm in an intense amount of pain, and talking loud vibrates my sinuses. And I know that's a weird statement to make, but it's scientifically accurate, and it explains why I'm in a lot of pain. So if I am a little bit quiet, I am going to keep myself very close to my mic tonight so you guys can hopefully hear me. If there are any issues with hearing me or hearing any of the other players, just let me know. I will make modifications and stuff like that. But yes, if I speak too loudly, which I will do tonight, like I did it 2 or 3 times just in sound check because I'm a dipshit. You will watch me squint and hold my head for a little bit and then go, "That was dumb, Jody. Let's get back to being a normal, smart person." So anyway, below me is the intrepid group of adventurers that are trying to find out what in the hell is going on with this weird cult of the dragon. They went and they ransacked this town called Greenest, the worst named town in all of Forgotten Realms, and had been pillaging and ransacking all the towns around there and a lot of other places as well. And all the money and gold and everything they had been taking had been funneling towards one place, this roadhouse. Unfortunately, they weren't able to find Patrick Swayze, but they were able to find some lizard men and a secret exit where it looks like all the gold and everything has been going. And there have been whispers that they are near a place called Castle Neartar, which is a castle built long before the Mare of Dead Men became as large as it is, and has been abandoned for centuries. So now they're on the trail of these lizard men, trying to catch up to them, figure out where everything is going, and try and figure out kind of the whole reason why the Cult of the Dragon has stopped doing what they normally do, which is they find a dead dragon corpse and try and turn it into a Dracolich. That's for hundreds of years that's been their modus operandi, and now they're gathering gold, and it doesn't make any sense. So to get us back into session, you guys have been traveling for almost a day now. I think we left last week at you guys finding some quicksand.
Yep.
And not even like real quicksand. This was movie quicksand.
Yep.
The fun kind.
Mm-hmm. A couple of us had a bath. Then Valdis cleaned us because it's Valdis.
You guys, where you are right now is semi-solid ground. You know where the quicksand ends and everything like that, but you are still in marsh. This is not a place that you really want to camp, and you have lost probably about 30 minutes on the party that you were tracking, just getting your fellow people out of this quicksand without them dying. So, what would you guys like to do?
Now, I read in a book.
I just sit down on a
that
rock.
if you just go down to the
and just
bottom of the quicksand.
trying to collect my thoughts.
Hidden cave down there.
Get the
You should try it.
quicksand out of my boots. Just,
I mean, that's my idea, unless you guys have something better.
well, does anybody have any ideas?
You do know where you left the trail, and the trail itself was what's called marked. So you weren't following tracks as much you were following this marked trail, which is marked by things like cuts on trees, broken branches. This is things that hunters use on a fairly regular basis to blaze a trail. Scouts do it as well, so that when they're ahead of an army or something and they're blazing a trail, they will mark their trail in a way that makes it easy for other people to follow them. So, so if you want, it'll probably take you a little bit of time to find the trail again. But this is a marked trail. This is not looking for tracks. This is just looking for something that's designed to be found. Otherwise, again, you guys are in the middle of. You guys are technically near the edge of the Mara Dead Men, but it's large enough that you can't see the end of it. As a note to the audience, you may notice some technical difficulties. This is because Roll20 hates us. I don't know if in a previous life I killed one of its relatives. Perhaps there is a, some form of demonic pact that is going on that requires the sacrifice of bandwidth that I am unaware of. Real quick, just to make sure everyone can hear each other. Altier, say something.
Hello.
Okay, Anna, say something.
You won't believe where I have quicksand.
Cool. Lillian, say something.
Hi.
Valdis, say something.
Something.
Ollie, say something.
Dink to my joke.
All right, cool. Everybody heard everybody?
I did.
We're going to pretend that sound and video is working. Next week, or next time I run this campaign, guys, I will have something a little bit different. We're going to try something different. Hopefully that will fix this. If not, we may just this may just turn into a giant wall of text where we just text each other everything we want to do. I don't know.
Oh, God, it's 1983.
Yeah.
At one point, the video chat was super solid in Roll20. I used to use it for meetings. Then they came up with their own proprietary version and broke it so bad. So anyway...
So what do you guys want to do to move on and wait for the sand?
This isn't really a place to camp.
And it is getting later in the day. You guys have probably been traveling for a good 7 hours at least. Generally,
I don't know about you.
Generally, you don't want to travel too much longer than maybe 8 to 12 hours tops. And if you're traveling 12 hours, that's kind of pushing yourself, especially through the terrain you guys have. That might cause, exhaustion.
And I don't mind telling you guys, I'm already exhausted. We need to find someplace to camp soon.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm out of everything, so yeah, I could really use the long rest.
Yeah, I hear you, but I don't really want to stop right here. I don't think.
If
Right.
anyone would like to, you can make survival checks to try to either A, find the trail again, and hope by following it you'll eventually find a campsite, or B, just look randomly throughout the swamp for a campsite. Just let me know what you specifically are looking for when you tell me what your role is.
Well, I can tell you it's nothing because it was a natural one. Starting off strong.
All right.
Yeah, same here. I rolled a 7, or 7 total.
So Valdis and Ollie are pretty well convinced that at the bottom of the quicksand is the perfect campsite. You'll sleep really, really well. It'll be great.
Warm up there. I remember it was warm.
Um,
Okay.
I rolled an 11 as
I
I
rolled.
rolled an,
Go ahead.
I rolled an 11 as well, looking for a campsite.
Okay.
I'm gonna be looking for a campsite, and I rolled a 16.
All right. So between Lilian, Anna, and Altier, you guys start heading away from the general direction of the path that you were on, and you're looking for solid ground, which you have seen. Like this is a swamp. Think kind of like Everglades kind of thing, where there are places, sandbars and stuff like that are actually solid, and then a lot of water everywhere. So you guys wander for another like hour and a half. You start to smell something. You can't quite place it. Seems
We haven't had anything to eat. I swear it
Something.
wasn't me.
so. As you guys continue to go in a direction that you think will lead, just based on your experiences in the swamp, you're following a sandbar that seems to be widening and looks to be getting close to wide enough to where you might be able to set up a campsite on it. So you're following this sandbar, and it's getting stronger, and you start smelling this smell. It's kind of a combination between, like, if you've ever burnt hair, that kind of acrid smell, and like ozone after like a lightning strike. It's just this very kind of distinct acrid alkaline smell, and it keeps getting stronger and stronger, and eventually you guys find a portion of the sandbar that's wide enough that you guys could camp if you want to. But as you reach there, you all look out and you see a wasteland in front of you. Easily 1,000 to 2,000 feet across. This area where the vegetation, the trees look like they have not so much been burnt, but dissolved, and they're blackened, very similar to being burnt, but you don't smell the smell of smoke. You smell that super strong alkaline smell. What would you guys like to do?
I'm assuming there seems like a new development.
Yeah, this is not something that you would expect to find in a swamp. You also notice the water itself here is significantly different. There's a lot less kind of wetness here than there is in other places. It's slightly raised up from the rest of the mare, not by a ton, but enough that most of the water runs out. And the few pools of liquid you can see from where you are, which are about 100 to 150 feet in from the kind of tree line that you guys are at, does not look like the water that you guys have been walking through, which has been unpleasant so far. Like, it has moss and, rotting mushrooms, and it's dark and murky. This other water seems a little bit brighter than the water that you've been walking through, and it has a greenish coloration to it.
Would I know if this is natural or not? Well, it's a naturally occurring phenomenon, or something did this to the land based on my proximity of my hometown to this area?
I'd say with your background, roll a history check. Since you've read a lot of different things.
28.
28. So your breath stops. You start looking around and you instantly realize what it is that you guys have wandered into. And you actually have to force yourself to remember. You get to that point where your lungs are starting to burn, your face is starting to turn a little bit blue, and you can't figure out what's going on, and then you realize, oh yeah, breathing. And so you guys watch as Valdis inhales this deep, deep breath and has this look of pure terror on his face. All the blood has drained. Valdis, you recognize these as textbook signs of a black dragon lair. And by the size of it, this is a very, very large, very, very old black dragon.
That's what I was afraid
Probably in the realm of ancient. If you had to, if you had to classify it. I'd like everyone to make perception checks, please.
Oh boy.
Oh god.
Oh,
I'm gonna refresh before I roll.
of. I can do math. 22.
Okay, so Valdis got a 22. Ollie,
14.
14. Liliane,
yeah.
Okay. Anna,
13.
13. Altier,
Give me a second, because I know I'm expertise in this, so I don't know the actual modifier. Perception 8, 25.
Okay, so Altier, Ollie, Liliane, because you got an 18, right?
Yeah.
Okay. You guys notice some figures in this kind of wasteland wandering around. They're far enough away that you can't really tell what they are beyond the fact that they're vaguely humanoid shaped. The rest of you guys, it's too far away. We're talking probably close to 500 to 1,000 feet away. The rest of you guys, it's too far for you guys to really see, especially with like the steam rising out of these pools of what you're starting to believe is not water. So you guys can see some figures moving in your general direction. It doesn't seem like they're making a beeline towards you, but they are moving in that direction. What would you guys like to do?
Get the hell out of here.
Yeah, I agree.
Same.
I don't know if I can move one more step, guys. I mean, do we really think we're going to find a better place around here, or...
At
Oh,
that
shut up.
point, you guys hear in the distance this ear-shattering, bone-chilling roar. And you guys look up and you see the twilight sun blacked out for a second as a figure passes in front of it. And as you guys watch, probably close to a mile, maybe even 2 miles away, is the largest dragon you have ever seen.
I start slowly backing away into the woods.
Okay. What about the rest of you guys?
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
gonna
same.
follow her.
I'm a roll a hide check.
I'd like everyone to roll me stealth checks.
Oh god.
Alright.
Hey, I like this. That's a 21 with a natural 20.
Oh, not bad at all. So that was Valdis, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Ollie?
Oh, I'm sorry. A little one.
Okay. Liliane?
4.
Ooh, Anna?
16.
All right, Altier?
29.
All right. So, Valdis, Enna, and Altier, as you guys see that, you immediately kind of look around and you see a large, almost weeping willow-style tree, and very slowly, making sure to only walk on the sandbar, so as to make as little noise as possible. You start going towards it. Ollie, you slip, fall flat on your back into a pool that you didn't notice was there.
Oh, good.
And this is not one of the pools of water
Of course it's not.
that you guys have been dealing with. This is one of those green pools of something else.
One of them there. Oh, he's rolling so many dice. Stop rolling.
It's black dragon acid. So
I know.
You take 11 points of acid damage as you plunge into this pool.
Okay.
What are you currently wearing?
Just clothes, and I have a breastplate armor.
So you have breastplate armor. What kind of weapons do you have?
I have a mace.
Okay. And Lillian, what did you get again?
4.
4. So Lillian, you step into actual water, not acid. Kind of slip, fall, make a bit of noise, but you see where everyone is going, and you kind of go over there. Ollie, as you pick yourself up, you start noticing your armor has cracks in it, and the edges of your vestments are starting to fray and peel. Currently, your breastplate has a -1 to its AC
Okay.
due to the acid damage. But beyond that, you're able to see where your friends went, and you guys kind of hide there. And you see the dragon disappear underneath the horizon. You don't really know where it went, though. The area that you're looking at, you can't really see the end of. You can see your little corner of it. Like I said, that's roughly about 2,000 feet. But there's another part of it that just keeps going. So you don't really know how big an area this is from where you are.
what do you say we find its sword before it returns? I'm kidding.
I say we go back to the first
I agree.
So you mean the answer I gave in joke is the safer of the two options?
I don't feel safe here.
No.
I mean, who would?
Well, yeah, there's a dragon of it to it. Always everything.
I mean, a part of me's excited because I want to study that, but at the same time, I know it'll cause my death, so I don't want to study that.
Yeah. Your layers of black dragons, you're fairly well versed in, just due to the fact that there are quite a few different books on the layers of black dragons. As far as books on black dragons, the volumes are significantly lessened, generally due to the fact that the people that study them don't generally live long enough to write their findings down. So while you do know about the layer, and with enough time and a library, you could probably find out some of the other features that you could expect if you were to explore this area. As far as specific information about a black dragon itself, there's very, very little. The spell plague, one of the unfortunate side effects of the spell plague was when magic went haywire, large libraries and things like that were lost because arcane practitioners also tended to be the ones that had the largest libraries and kept things safe. And so when magic started backfiring and everything during the spell plague, a lot of information was lost. Candlekeep being probably the only place that you would really be able to find in-depth research about dragons and things like that. that you are aware of. There may be other places that specialize in dragon knowledge, but as far as like written records, Candlekeep would be your best bet, which is significantly far south of you. I'm talking other side of Baldur's Gate.
Quicksand camp?
I don't like that idea, but I like it better than this one.
Same.
Anywhere that's far away from here.
All right, so if you guys want to try and find your way back through the swamp, it's survival checks again. And when you roll it again, just tell me what specifically you're looking for, whether it's to find your way back to the trail, find a different campsite away from the trail, or to just find your way back to the quicksand. You know, whatever you want to do.
I am so distracted by that dragon. That's a 2, so it's a 5 total.
Yeah, you're running through different facts and figures about dragons. You know, the average life expectancy of a humanoid that is near a dragon, which is generally measured in down to the millisecond, seen as the measurement is small enough. Things like that, so you're worthless at this point. Anyone else making a check? You're sitting there thinking, kind of looking at Ollie, seeing how his armor's already damaged and he has these burns on his skin, thinking how much worse it would be if that was spewed from a dragon at you. So you're kind of worthless.
I get distracted by looking at
I
flowers
just want to be away from where we are now.
along our path and completely
So basically go
my way.
find the trail to go back to where we were.
Or, you know, I'm just, ooh, that's pretty. I've never seen anything
Okay.
like that. Guys, I think I'm getting really tired.
So Anna is barely able to stay awake, but Ollie, with a 17, you are. And what specifically were you looking for again?
The trail to get us back towards
Okay.
where we came from.
So it takes you about 20 minutes, and your first kind of command to everyone is this way, which is the exact opposite direction from the wasteland that you have found. And then you kind of readjust the path towards where you think the trail should be. You guys start wading through, you know, knee deep and then waist deep water, which for like Altier means you're like it's up to your, you know, neck. But eventually you guys can see off in the distance a small camp. Give me a second. Because there is a description.
I just realized everyone's trudging through the water and I'm on top of it, so I'd probably stick out like a sore thumb for anyone watching for us. Like, oh look, there's the giant beacon over there.
The spindly mage that walks on water.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just occasionally reaching out, trying to trip him.
So you guys do find what looks like a campsite after traveling for another hour or two. It isn't much of a camp, just a clearing that's slightly drier than the muck you've been wading through, but 4 wicker lean-tos and a stone platform for lighting a fire above the soggy ground command attention in this wilderness. 3 dugout canoes are drawn up near one of the lean-tos. A few dozen yards beyond the campsite in the direction you've been traveling, dry land ends. Other than moss-covered trees, fallen logs, and thick clumps of reeds, nothing rises above the still black water.
So, I mean, everyone sees that, right? We're not seeing things.
Mm-hmm.
I know, it's a beautiful flower. Oh, wait, you're talking about something else, aren't you?
No, I was actually talking about the flower.
Oh, good, good. I know it's got a beautiful lavender and pink quality. I've never seen a flower quite like this before. I'm gonna save this.
Does the camp look
And I
like
put it in my hair.
Does the camp look like there are people in it? There are people that have been in it recently, or is it just like empty?
Make me a perception check.
19.
So, the first thing you do is you look around for anyone currently in the campsite. It's empty. Other than the three lean-tos and the canoes, there's not really anything there. You do notice that the stone slab where one would light a fire does have some dried coals on it. If you want to roll a survival check, you can get an idea of how long it's been since a fire has been there.
Nat 20.
Looking at it, you think that probably within the last 6 to 8 hours, somebody was here. At least. The coals are not hot, but this is a relatively recent fire.
Alright.
You also do notice over by the lean-tos some sticks and woods and kindling and things like that, seemingly gathered to create another fire. Like just a little supply of wood that you would see at, a hunting lodge or something like that.
This seems to be a camp that was visited recently and might be visited again, because they seem to be prepared for another fire.
I think it's actually just like a refuge for travelers to use as a campsite, so they don't get wet. 'Cause that's
That's
what I
true
think.
as well.
Of course, that makes sense. Complete sense.
So at this point, it's starting to get later. The sun is starting to set a little bit. What would you guys like to do?
Well, I think we should use the here if people come back.
We should
We
set up a
can
watch.
do it with it.
We should set up a watch for sure.
Yeah, we don't want to be out with a drink.
I think I'll take first watch with my lack of dark vision. First or
I would
last?
say second watch.
Okay.
I can help on third and fourth.
I'll be up first with Valdis.
I thought Ollie was going to be on first watch.
No,
I never said anything.
Oh,
No.
sorry.
Sorry,
Hi,
I'm sitting
your
back from the
pictures are right next to each other. All right, so Valdis and Altier, first watch. Second watch is Liliane. Third watch is Anna. And fourth watch as well. Ollie, are you going to take a watch or?
I can, sure, yeah. I can see
Okay.
help with fourth.
Okay. So, are you guys going to light a fire or anything like that to cook food or any other preparations that you guys are going to make?
I say we don't do a fire just to be safe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
Yeah, Black
Yes.
Dragon flying about. I don't like that.
So just due to kind of how hard you guys pushed yourselves, I would like Constitution saving throws from everybody.
Oh,
So 20, not natural.
All right. I'm going to start with Altier. What'd you get?
15.
Okay, Anna.
22.
Okay, Valdis.
20, not natural.
Okay, Ollie.
12.
Okay, and Liliane. Okay. Everybody but Liliane, you guys are fine. You're tired, but not too bad. Liliane, you have 1 point of exhaustion. Theoretically, if you can get a long rest, that won't matter. So, Altier and Valdis, you guys take first watch. As you guys are watching, you start to hear a sound that Valdis you probably have never heard Altair, you're probably relatively familiar with it. It's the sound of oars moving through water. So you hear this, pshoom, 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 pshoom. And in the distance, you see what looks like three shapes coming from this black water floating on top of it. You notice them fairly quickly, and they don't seem to be hiding. Like, they're not very stealthy in what they're doing, but you get the idea that they're probably going to be there within the next 10 to 15 minutes tops, because they're making a beeline for the camp that you guys are at. How about both you guys roll me perception checks?
Really quick, does the campground that we're on look like it could hold multiple tents, or?
Well,
just
it has
like,
three. Are you familiar with what a lean-to is?
No.
So a lean-to is basically it's a kind of tent, but instead of having two sides, it's basically just like a plank or something that's leaned up against something flat. So it gives you a form of cover, but it's very, very simple. So think of it as a very simple tent. There are three of them already on this area, so it's a relatively large area.
Okay. And that would be a 10 for me,
Okay.
unless we're rolling with disadvantage for it being night.
It's twilight, and they're coming from. I think they're coming from the west, so let's say that they're coming from the west, so they're silhouetted.
Okay.
So the advantage disadvantage cancels itself out.
20 not natural.
Okay. So between the two of you, you guys get the idea. There are three canoes, very similar to the ones that are kind of parked on this campsite, coming towards you, each with three lizard men in it. And they haven't seen you yet. The rest of your party is in the lean-tos, so they are kind of covered and won't be noticed until the lizard men actually come and look in the lean-tos or something like that. But
Let me check a spell really quick. It's not a damaging one, so don't fret. Just need to see what I can do with Silent Image.
well, it's an image and it's silent.
So at best, what I could do is disguise myself to look like a lizard man, since I do speak Draconic, and try and get them to go away. I don't know.
Silent image doesn't technically.
No, I
Work
know
that
that
way?
won't work. I have disguise self as well.
Yeah, disguise self would kind of work because it, while it won't let you change too much of your physical features, lizard men are close enough to humanoid. I think they're slightly taller than humans, so you would probably look like a short lizard man, but you could probably make yourself look like a lizard man. Your snout, if they tried to touch it or anything, would be completely illusory. So if they tried to touch your snout, they would go through it.
Really quick, did we see any lizard men with our blue half dragon friend?
Way back.
Yeah.
He had kobolds.
Okay.
His thing
So
was
that won't work.
kobolds.
So I guess I'm.
You snuck out with Altair though that night though, right?
Yeah.
So you saw lizard men then,
Okay.
because that was in the those are the people that were carrying the goods off for lizard men. So
I want to bank on my deception with a -2 charisma. So I'm just going to kind of try and hide myself in one of the other lean-tos and
Okay.
let Altair take the talking over
the
whatever he wants.
lean-tos themselves are large enough that you two people can fit in them relatively comfortably. But they don't offer a lot of cover. As soon as these creatures get here, they're simply going to have to walk over to the lean-to to see that there are people there.
I'm just going to get ready to wake up Lillian and whoever's in the same lean-to.
All right. Altier, what are you doing?
Um, I wonder if this will work because not gonna it's not gonna make a lot of noise, but it might bug them awake. Um, in one of in one of the lean-tos with, let's just say, Anna and Lillian, they're both women. Why not? I use divine augment, and I'm gonna create harmless tremors in the ground, but just under them to
Okay.
try and.
So there doesn't take with the fact that you guys saw a very very large black dragon yesterday. Nobody is sound asleep. Like if you want to wake up everybody before you guys have 10 to 15 minutes before they're going to land. You guys have at least 5 minutes before they're going to be close enough to notice that anyone is there, even if you guys are wandering around. Again, they don't seem, from what you guys saw, they don't seem to be trying to cover their tracks. They're not really paying attention. They're completely unprepared for you. So if you want to wake everybody up and tell them, hey, 9 lizard men are coming,
I want to
you can
start
without
doing
any difficulty.
that, but I want to say to Altier that we try and spare the boats.
Doesn't make sense.
You do know the canoes that are there already can easily hold your party because there's 3 canoes that are just sitting unused right now.
In that case, I can just try and incinerate the boats as they're approaching.
Theoretically possible.
I can also hurl fireballs as well.
You guys
Just not very far.
You guys are aware lizardmen don't really have issues with water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that's not even a knowledge check. That's lizardmen live in or near water. So taking away their boats is not going to do much.
Yeah. How far out are they?
Let's say at this point, let's say they're 500 feet out.
Okay.
And they're just now getting to the point where they're, if you guys aren't hidden in some way, shape, or form, they're going to start realizing somebody's there.
Yeah, I'm gonna start like getting some cover and cut their vision from me, which hide.
Okay.
I guess I'm just gonna prep a 3rd level scorching ray for when they get within, I think it's 150.
Okay.
I'm going to ready my bow and arrow. I'm assuming we have not gotten the benefit of a short rest yet.
No. No short rest, no long rest. This happens before any of that, so.
That's what I
So,
assumed.
if you guys are preparing for battle, Altier, you are hiding and doing what?
I'm hiding and I have an arrow notched in my short bow.
Okay. Make me a stealth check.
Ooh, 30.
You think you're stealthed.
Okay.
Was that even a nat 20? Like, what did you actually roll?
A 19.
Damn. You rogues. Cool. So you guys watch as Altier actually goes to one of the kind of misshapen trees, climbs up it just a little bit so that he's hidden by the branches and things like that, knocks an arrow, and starts to pull it just a little bit. Anna, what are you doing?
I'm going to attempt to hide near one of the lean-tos.
Okay.
As best I can, but have an arrow notched and drawn on my longbow, ready to fire as they get into range.
Okay.
Or once I see somebody else do something.
Okay. So you're going to, from my understanding, you're going to ready your longbow, but you're going to hold off on shooting it until either it looks like they've noticed you or someone else does something.
Yes.
Okay. Give me a stealth check, please. I have been running a completely different system for the past month. And so I have to remind myself what the checks are again.
So I got a natural 20, but since I'm at disadvantage, I have to go with my 12. So the total is 18.
What are you at disadvantage for?
I am exhausted, apparently.
Uh,
I thought it was
it,
only Lillian.
yeah, I thought it was only it was a DC 10.
No, I think I was exhausted from one of our last sessions.
Oh, okay. Then yeah,
Like
okay.
I've got no wild shapes. I've got one exhaustion marked. So
Okay, cool. That's fine. So how much was it again?
18 total.
18 total. Okay, cool. Not quite as invisible as Altier. Valdis, you watch as Altier kind of climbs a little bit up a tree. Anna goes into one of the lead-tos. Both of them draw bows. What are you doing?
I'm just gonna prep a third level scorching ray for they're within 120 feet.
Okay. And are you going to aim for the boats or the people?
How many are in each boat?
3 lizard men per boat.
I'll just since I got 4 rays, I'll target 1 ray at each person in the boat and the 4th ray at the boat.
Okay, cool. Are you going to try and hide or anything?
Yeah, I guess I'll hide until until they get close.
Until they get close enough. I think is it 100 feet for Scorching Ray?
120.
120. Okay.
That I can do math. 12 plus 1, so 13.
All right, you think you're stealth. Where are you hiding, by the way?
One of the lean-tos, because I'm
Okay.
not very stealthy by nature, so I think I'm stealthy doing this.
Again, it's basically just a plank leaned up against a tree or something like that, so it's mostly open air. So pretty easy to just kind of step behind. Ollie,
Did I get woken up? I wouldn't know when to really specify. I was sure.
you everybody got woke up.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
You are all woke. Woke AF.
So I haven't
You
done this in a
understand the intricacies of institutionalized racism against lizard men, and you understand that the patriarchy has really brought everybody down. So
So, anyways,
I'm sorry.
uh,
I just read a really dumb paper on that shit. So you're awake.
I want to do something I haven't done in a long time, and I want to basically get behind a tree. And since there are 3 uses per day, here's a question I have. For my tan bag of tricks,
Mm-hmm.
it says 3 uses per day. Can that be 3 at once?
I believe it's an action to use it. So theoretically, you could use all 3 of them in the same battle, but it's an action to use it. So I'm gonna limit you to 1 basically turn of setup. So if you want, before they even get within range, if you want to toss one of these things out, you can. Just remember, whatever happens to it, that is, it's magical in nature. Whatever comes out of it, since they're generally beasts, are not going to be smart enough to know not to make noise, to try and hide and things like that. So keep that in mind.
So what I'll do is I'll pull out my crossbow and knock an arrow or bolts and hold one of the little fuzzies for when they get in range. I want to throw it at them.
Okay. Lillian.
I ain't good fire high by whatever to
Okay.
and the bow in my quad forward to the easy feet away.
Okay. Are you going to invoke your right at all, or no?
Um, now, how would that work with a crossbow? Would I be able to do it in bow or?
I kind of imagine whenever you do it with the crossbow, the string is the thing that holds the bolt gets lit up, and then when you fire, it like transfers.
Theoretically, my understanding of the class is if you do it on a ranged weapon, the you don't have to do it per ammunition. You do it on the ranged weapon itself, and it transfers it to the ammunition. So you
Yeah.
could basically activate it on the crossbow, and then each bolt would have that extra bit of. I can't. Do you do fire? Is that what yours is?
Yeah,
Think
Okay.
fire, so I don't want to do it right away, but when they get
Right
maybe
before you
about,
shoot, you'll
yeah,
make sense. Okay. So you guys see them get within. They get to the 120 feet point where Valdis, you could launch it. They don't seem to. Oh, can I have a stealth check from you, Lillian?
Me too, right? 'Cause
Yeah,
it's-
I forgot you.
yeah.
Mr.
What'd you-
Clink Clink.
but
Mine was 14.
Okay. What about,
7.
all right. So Lillian, while trying to stand behind a lean-to, has stood in front of one. Ollie, you found a nice little place to kind of tuck behind where there's some reeds and stuff keeping you from being seen too easily. So they hit the 120 foot mark, and they still seem oblivious. I have to look up something very quickly here.
All right. The first bolt of my 4 is a natural 20, so the first guy is just going to get vaporized.
Well, before you do that, you would hear something. That's a Dungeon
Okay.
Master's Guide. No, that's the Monster Manual. Wow, I don't remember how. There we go. Okay. So you said you speak Draconic, right?
Yes. It's one of my 7 or 8 languages. I lost
Yeah,
count.
you're 42 languages. I speak anything if it's useful. So as they're getting closer, you're starting to hear snippets of conversation. It's obvious to you they're not trying to mask their presence. The little snippets of conversation you're hearing are some insults, a few laughs, some complaining. You can't really hear specific words, but you're familiar enough with the language and the syntax of it that you can kind of tell just the broad you pick out a word here and there and you kind of get, this is just a bunch of guys doing something boring, and they seem completely oblivious to anyone being in the camp at all. So do you want to wait for them to get any closer, or do you want to start off right at the maximum range you have?
I guess I will wait for them to get a little closer so I can try and make out more, because if they're not hostile, I mean, they're lizardmen, but if they're not hostile, there's the small chance.
Mhm.
We can have lizardmen friends.
Okay. So they get within 60 feet. And as they get within 60 feet, you notice one of them looks around, a little bit confused. You hear him say, "Hey, pipe down. Do you guys remember? Are we supposed to be meeting someone here?" In Draconic. Does anyone else speak Draconic?
No.
Okay, so Valdis, you were the only person to. The rest of you guys just kind of watch the lizardmen. Their boats slow, like they slow their boats down a little bit. They kind of look to each other. You hear them speak some strange. But Valdis, you understand that to mean, are we supposed to be meeting someone here?
So I guess I could put 2 and 2 together and assume these are the lizardmen that we were tracking in the first place. So I don't know if I...
Theoretically possible. From where, because you were the one that knows about Castle Neartar, if I remember correctly, right?
Yeah.
You know, for them to have gotten to Castle Neartar and back here, not possible.
Okay, so it's a different group.
You also notice that they're not carrying anything other than, like, their own gear. There's no gold, there's no jewels. It's just their gear.
Well, I either start this off or someone else does, so I guess I'm going to start this off.
Okay. I'll let you keep your first roll from before.
So the whatever boat's closest, whoever's, because I assume it's just a basic canoe with one person rowing.
Yeah, it's what's called I believe it's called like a carved canoe. It's basically where they take a trunk and they hollow it out, so it is one solid piece of wood. It's not constructed.
Okay, so the guy who's on the rows is going to be the first target, so he's the one that gets hit by the crit.
Okay.
And then I'll just roll the other ones now.
Give me just a couple of seconds for the. Are you opening? Sorry, I have to argue with my computer. Because why would you work? That's not supposed to. That's not how it works. I've only used this program like 100 times now. Which is really good because with the tremor in my dominant hand, if I wrote down hit points and initiative by hand, no one would know when they went. All right. Before you do your damage or anything, I'd like everyone to roll for initiative.
Okay.
Oh, I rolled super good.
Oh, that's right, I had my intelligence. Okay. Why can't I do math?
It's not a kraken.
They are Kraken men. Kraken men, a new species. Valdis, we must record this.
All right, Altier, what you got?
7.
Anna,
13.
Valdis?
19.
Not 119, just 19. Ollie,
5.
Lillian.
19.
All right, between Valdis and Lillian, who wants to go first?
Me, since I'm already scorching him.
Yeah.
Okay. This first round, everyone is going to get one, basically, round where it doesn't matter what order we go in.
Okay.
And then we're going to start initiative. I just figured we'd roll it now to get it out of the way.
Okay.
I'll go first if you don't mind, Lillian.
Yeah, so
So, out of my 4 attack rolls, the lowest was a 17.
All of them miss.
The last one would be targeting the boat.
Okay. The boats, because most of it is beneath the surface, I'm going to have you roll that one at disadvantage.
Okay. That was the 17. That was the last one, so I just rolled again. So 14 with disadvantage.
Still hits. So you
Okay,
hit
so
all of them. First one is a crit. Go ahead and roll damage.
the crit is 14. I'll keep
Okay.
it fire damage. The second one, wow, 12.
Okay.
And the third guy, 3. That makes up for it.
That was impressive.
I'm going to change
And
back
then
to these other D6s.
The boat.
8.
Okay, so the boats, basically you see them start getting shorter and shorter as it looks like the boat itself, just the blast of the fire has caused enough damage to it that it's sprung a leak. It's not on fire anymore because the water has put it out. Remarkably enough, that's how water and fire interact. But the boat itself is sinking. You guys watch as Valdis sits there. What do you use as a focus again?
Magic wand.
So you see, as Valdis points his wand, and these three beams of scarlet red energy fire out and hit one right in the center of the chest and leave this huge smoldering mark that's bleeding heavily. The second one hits another one right in the shoulder and again burns his shoulder really bad. You can see him bleeding. The third one just barely nicks the third person in the boat. You can see like a bit of a char on it, but he looks more angry than anything. And the rest of the lizard folk, almost on command, pull weapons and ready themselves. The rest of you guys, I'm just going to start from the left and go to the right for your surprise round. Altier.
Using that mark on the guy's chest, because I know he said that was the one that he aimed at the one that was rowing first. I'm going to use that as a target
Okay.
and fire at him.
You will have advantage on this because he does not see you.
That would be a. This is because I rolled a crappy on one die. Does a 3 plus 5, 14 hit him?
14 does not, actually. Actually, for this round... Nope, it doesn't, sorry. It would have for Valdis as it didn't for you.
Oh.
As you see them pull out shields.
Oh.
Sorry.
So it's that 2 points that changes it, man.
Yeah.
Now, did you roll? Did you roll with advantage or?
I rolled with advantage.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right, Enna.
I'm going to fire at the slightly wounded lizard man,
Okay.
the one who was just grazed.
Okay.
And I just fire it. It goes way, way, way too far.
You see him look behind him as an arrow impacts the water. You see the
Yeah, it was a
arrow
9.
start bobbing to the surface as a frog impaled upon the arrow just floats lifelessly, bobbing at the top of the surface.
You were killing little critters.
Valdis, you've already done yours. Ollie.
How far away are they right now from the shore?
The closest ones are 60 feet. The furthest ones are an additional 10, so they're 70 feet.
Okay. I'll take a shot with my crossbow. Or light crossbow. Say 15.
15 does hit.
Okay. I was aiming for the one the was rowing on the first ship closest.
Okay, so the one that got hit the hardest?
Yeah.
Okay. In that case, you miss entirely.
Okay.
Roll damage.
Okay.
And did you roll that with advantage? Because you would be hidden from him.
I did not. No.
Okay. You can try for a crit.
Yeah. No, that's just 16.
Okay. So yeah.
That is 6 damage. Sorry.
Okay. So you guys watch as Ollie shoulders his light crossbow, lets a bolt fly, and it goes hits the guy right in the shoulder. He's thrown back a little bit. He loses his oar for a second. And you can see the blood is flowing freely. He looks like he's on his last leg. The guy behind him immediately picks up the oar and starts rowing faster, trying to get them to land as quickly as possible. Anything else you want to do?
I innately only get one attack, correct? I can't remember. It's been a while
I
since
believe so, unless you're a war priest.
No, I'm life, so that's it.
Yeah, just one.
Just one. Lillian, you are not hidden from them. So you'll be rolling these regularly. But what do you want to do?
I will fire my crossbow at her like on the the new Roman side.
Okay, so the one right behind the one that's
Yeah.
bleeding heavily. Okay. Go ahead and make your attack. So as you sit there and you fire, the arrow itself erupts in flame, and you watch as the person sitting there rowing just instinctively brings his shield up and thunk, it hits the shield. And he dips the shield in water real quick to put out the fire, and they move up after all of you guys take your surprise round. They move up.
I have to attack.
Oh, you have 2 attacks? Oh, go ahead and make your second attack. Have you ever seen that scene in Hercules where all the arrows come at him and he just goes and he brings it and he's spelled an H? That was an 11 for those of you watching at home. So another one, he dips the shield, goes forward. At the end of that, they move forward 30 feet. So they are now 30 feet away from land in these boats. And some of them are readying ranged weapons, but it's not their turn yet. It is going to be Valdis. You're up first.
They see me like up in the tree now that I've shot, right?
Yeah, they know where everybody is. Once you make an attack, you are visible.
Well, seeing as I'm out of third and out of second, I'm just going to do magic missile, targeting 1 at the guy who is practically dead,
Okay.
and 2 at the new rower.
Okay.
So the guy who's practically dead takes 4.
Okay.
I'm keeping it force damage.
Okay.
The other guy takes 3, 4, 5, 6.
All right. So you watch as Valdis points his wand again and flings 1 missile, smacks the guy in the front, hits him square in the chest, and he goes flying into the water. And you see him go underwater a little bit and come back up, floating, bobbing, and unmoving. He then sits there and goes, boom, boom, fires 2 more off, and they strike the second one in the chest twice, but he seems to kind of grit through it. You can see blood drizzling down the sides of his snout and from his nose, but he's still rowing forward, trying to get to shore as quickly as possible. Anything else you want to do with your turn?
Is there just nothing but water behind me?
Behind you is swamp. Ahead of you is water.
I want to walk away from them, but I guess I have to bring a water walking, so I'll just walk 30 feet back.
Okay. So your mixture of stepping on, sandbars and water, you stay roughly the same height as you walk 30 feet backwards.
That's all.
Which a couple of them just look at you real weird. Lilianne, you're up next.
Hey, good. The new Roman.
If you aim correctly, you can make some really cool designs.
He's a master of shield.
So those of you wondering at home, that was a 7.
When did Will Wheaton start playing with us?
I don't know. You may want to keep your dice away from him. I'm just going to point that out now. So again, you fire another bolt in mid-flight. It erupts in flame and instinctively brings it up. You fire with a 10. You fire another bolt and he instinctively picks it up, dips the shield in water again. You notice the shield itself has, before you put these arrows on it, it had spikes. Now it looks especially deadly because it has 4 kind of, like he breaks the arrow shafts off so that his spiked shield now has even more spikes.
Oh boy. I think you should roll physical dice.
Anything else you want to do with your turn?
No.
All right.
Roll 20.
That's going to bring us to Anna. Gotta love roll 20, guys. Notice all my dice rolls are made with real dice.
All right, I am going to channel my inner Percy and target the guy with the extra spiked shield with my longbow.
Gotcha.
And I think I'm 19.
19 does hit.
Yeah.
Yes.
You may wish to give Lillian some pointers.
I don't have any.
It's a D8.
That'll do. 10 points of damage.
All right, so as you sit there, and he's sitting there, and he's breaking off these, and he's looking at his shield. He's like, thunk, right between the eyes, and you watch him go, thunk, and fall off the canoe into the water, and just kind of bob there as the water around him goes from black to a blackish red. Anything else you want to do with your turn?
I look over and say, thanks for the assist, Leanne, and then ready another arrow.
Yeah, Lillian, it's only on ability checks at first level, not attacks.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean,
Oh, gotcha. I thought you were rolling disadvantage this whole time. Like, what?
no.
Even with advantage from the rolls he's been making, he wouldn't have done it. That's the issue here. That brings us to Altier.
Oh, so okay.
I rolled for the lizard men, so take that for what you want it to be.
I'm going to hop down so I'm in the front, basically. And so the boat that's closest to us only has one lizard man in it now.
Yes. Well, theoretically, all of them are about 30 feet away. You guys have just been focusing on one boat, and that boat you can't see anymore. It is now under the water.
I'm going to shoot.
So the lizardman is kind of swimming his way in.
Yeah, I'm going to shoot over him to the rower of the boat, the next closest boat.
Okay.
23 to hit.
Definitely a hit. Go ahead and roll damage.
6.
All right. Well, and that's a short bow, right?
Yep.
So you sit there and you fire the arrow. It goes and it smacks him in the shoulder. He goes. Seems to hurt, but he's still ready to fight. Anything else you want to do with your turn?
No, I'm good.
All right. That brings us to Ollie, because I rolled really good for initiative.
Wow, less than my 5. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, that's how it works when I'm rolling.
How much of there is there a shoreline, or is there a shoreline, or how far would we be away from the water's edge?
There is a shoreline. You guys are on like an extra large sandbar, so the shoreline. It's not so much a shoreline as it is just kind of a drop off into water. Where at one point you are on a piece of land, and then land eroded away enough for there to be kind of like a drop off and then water. Are you asking how far away are you from it?
Yes.
I'm going to say about 10 feet. Like the place is, it's not very big in general. It's big enough for the 3 lean-tos, a place for people to eat, and have the fire, and not a whole lot else. But it's the largest piece of dryish land you guys have seen all day.
Okay.
Other than, like, if you guys want dry land, there is dry land. Like, you saw it. It's in between the acid puddles.
Yeah.
It's very dry.
I was curious because I'm just going to toss the fuzzy I have in my hand. I was going to toss it
Okay.
about halfway between the shoreline, and us.
So it basically would be going right in front of you.
Essentially, yeah.
Okay. I don't have my DMG.
I have it.
Okay, cool. So what do you get?
I rolled a 4, and that's an axe beak.
Oh, that's cool. So you guys watch as Valdis goes into his bag and he takes out this like fluffy tribble looking thing, throws it. and as it hits the ground, it starts to morph into this very long-legged, almost crane-like bird. If I remember what an axe beak is. But instead of having a very pointed, slender beak and neck, it has an axe shaped beak and is a relatively aggressive bird. Am I supposed to have stats for that?
I have the stats, and
Oh,
if
good.
you want to know anything.
Yeah. What's the challenge rating?
Quarter.
Quarter? Okay, cool. So yeah, you guys now have a flamingo with a weird beak. He looks pissed though. Like this is a pissed off flamingo.
All right. And they said that's a full action to do one of those.
I think that's what it theoretically should say in the DMG, but I believe it's an action to do that.
Let's see.
It should say as
Yeah, it's an action to
You
pull.
can use an action. Yeah.
So yeah,
But if I already have it out,
I'm gonna say every time you throw one of those, that is an action.
Okay.
Because you're technically summoning a creature. Normally, I'd have you roll for initiative. We're gonna just say that it goes on your turn.
okay.
Do you want it to do anything this turn?
Just let it stand there for the time being.
Okay, cool. Now it's their turn. They make Shorefall, and they pull out. All but two of them pull out javelins. So Enna, you are going to get. I got 9 versus 5. Everybody gets 1. Enna's going to get 3.
Didn't we kill one?
You're right. So 7 for 5. And it's still going to get 3. Everyone else gets 1. Because you killed one of them with like a straight through the head. And Valdus, normally you'd be scarier than you look, but you attacked a boat.
Yeah.
Against people that know how to swim really well.
All
So
part of
they're
the
like, we don't
19s,
need to
man.
worry about him. There's 5 more boats for him to kill. So Anna, first javelin's going to go towards you. That is an awesome roll. What do I have? Oh, yeah, super awesome roll. How about a 9?
I laugh.
1 javelin goes through the air. How about a 23?
They laugh.
That is 5 piercing damage. And then the third one flies through
Sorry?
the air. You took 5 piercing damage from the second one. The third one is a 19.
My armor class is 16.
All right, so you take another 5 piercing damage from that. Altier, javelin comes towards you. 17.
That is my armor class.
All right, 5 piercing damage.
I use my reaction to deflect missiles.
Go ahead and roll.
So D10
So theoretically, it's your monk level plus a D10.
plus Dex, right?
I think you're maybe. I don't know. I know it's your monk
Yeah.
level.
It's a D10 plus Dex mod plus monk.
Okay.
So 4, 9. 4.
I
I
don't
reduce
think
it
you
by 13 damage and I catch it.
Okay. You catch it. Do you want to burn a key point to give it back to them?
I do.
Okay.
I'm gonna.
So you guys watch as the javelin flies towards him. Altier jumps in the air, grabs it, spins around, uses the momentum of the javelin to send it straight back. It will use your monk damage dice.
Okay. That's a 24 to hit.
That's a miss. Yeah, go ahead. Roll damage.
He takes 9.
Wow. You did a lot more damage than he did. All right. Valdus, you get a javelin. No, you don't get a javelin. You are too far away. Because you walked back 30 feet. So that means the 18 goes against the axe beak, Ollie.
Yeah, it's an 11 armor class.
All right, and it's not a javelin. It is. Oh, they get multi-attack. That's useful. He's gonna just try and bite it for 5 damage, and then it's gonna come around with his shield and try and bash it for 21.
Yeah.
So that's
What
another
point?
5 piercing damage.
Okay.
Then is he still up?
Mm-hmm.
Then again with another bite,
Oh boy.
because he's in front of you and they have to get through him to get to you because you're right next to
Flamingo
the lead. 18.
Yeah.
5 piercing damage. Tries to bash it with it. Is it still up?
Yep.
Tries to bash it with its shield. 20
Uh-huh.
for another 5 piercing damage.
And it's dead.
All right. It lived a good life.
That worked really well.
It was a majestic.
Kevin's a
Just a
girl?
Yeah, you played Scapegoat. It worked.
Mine?
Yes. The only thing I can think of is Kevin the girl. Lillian, you get a javelin. How does a 6 sound? Or 7? How does a 7 sound?
That was a way.
Really?
Right.
7 against him and 20s against the beak?
I don't know. That's how it worked. Top of the order. Back to Valdis. You are 30 feet back. They are now, let's say they are 40 feet ahead of you.
Okay, then I will not do that because I was going to say if I move 30 feet forward, how many could I get in a cone? But I'll just.
You could probably at least get 3 if you got it, if you aimed correctly in a cone, just because of how they are, and they all just got out. So it's
I'll
15
wait
foot
around.
wide, right?
It's 15-foot cone centered from me.
Yeah. So the end of the cone is 15 feet wide.
Yeah, I'll wait for him to clump up a little bit more, and I'll just do firebolt, save my spell slots.
Okay.
Whatever one looks the most injured.
The one that Altier gave him his javelin back looks pretty rough.
Does a 16 hit?
16 does hit. Roll damage.
D10s. There you are.
It's 2d10 now, right?
Yeah, that's 16 fire.
All right. So as you sit there and you point your wand, this bolt of fire comes, hitting him, incinerating his chest. You watch him fall over dead. That's a lot for a cantrip. Wow.
2d10.
I guess it's
2
really
eights.
not for like 2d10. Like the average is going to be 12. But
I'll move 5 feet back just to be safe.
okay. Lillian, you have a dude about 10 feet away from you.
Happy old. Get in my wall. Sword and move 5 feet toward him.
Okay.
I'll do my wife father.
Okay. So you guys watch as Lillian moves forward as she draws her blade. At this point, maybe you should just try attacking yourself. I'm just saying. As she draws her blade, she holds on to the hilt, and it cuts her finger slightly. And as the blood trickles on the blade, it erupts in flame. As she swings the sword, the lizardman very deftly moves out of the way as the flaming blade goes straight past.
I'll try again. 17.
17 is a hit. Roll damage.
Just blame roll 20.
That's why I don't use Roll20 for D&D. For other systems, it rolls a lot better. I don't know what it is about D&D that it rolls so bad.
and that would be 11 damage plus that be 15.
All right, so you sit there and you cut, and you actually sear as you cut into the flesh of this creature, but the cut is still deep enough that it starts to bleed rather profusely. It goes. So, anything else you wanted to do with your turn?
No.
All right. Next up is Anna. Anna, what do you want to do? You had 3 people that were really interested in you.
All right.
You also have a small collection of javelins.
So, I just looked down at the javelins, looked back up at them. I use produce flame to create a fireball,
Okay.
and then I just let out a roar and throw it at the nearest one.
All right. Make an attack roll.
12?
As you sit there, you go, "Roar," and you create this ball of flame and hurl it forward. It lands harmlessly on the ground that's already wet, doesn't even leave a scorch mark, and the lizardmen just kind of go. Anything else you want to do?
All right. I could use my bonus action to cast Healing Word
Sure, you can.
and give myself 5 hit points.
That's useful. Altier, you are going to be next.
Okay. So there's a lizard men by Liliane, and then there's like 6 unattended ones, right?
Say that again?
There's a lizard men by Liliane, and then there's 6 unattended ones.
Kind
is
of.
Liliane by multiple?
There's 3 that are within 10 feet of Enna that look like they're probably going to be moving towards her. There are 2 by Ollie. That makes 5. Yep, and then there's 1 by Liliane.
Okay, so I'm going to run to the one by Liliane, draw my dagger, and stab it between the ribs.
Okay.
That's a 25 to hit.
Definitely a hit. Roll damage.
It's a sneak attack because Liliane is there. 6, 11.
And so you run up to it, doing the whole ninja run thing. You jump up, and you just kind of go past it, slashing its neck. Blood squirts out, and then it hits the ground as you land behind it.
And then, so how much movement did I use to do that?
Let's say 10 feet.
And
Like,
how
y'all
far?
are real close to each other. It's not a very
Okay.
big area.
Then I'm going to run over to the one that's about to harass Anna, and I'm going to flurry of blows.
One of the many.
Yeah, I'm going to flurry of blows.
Okay,
One
cool.
of many.
Anna has a fan club, apparently.
That's a 15.
15 to hit.
That's 9 damage.
Okay.
And then an 18.
Another hit.
8 damage.
All right, so Anna, as you're sitting there seeing these guys taking out these large weighted clubs, looking very similar to your shillelagh that you've used before, and kind of foaming at the mouth at the relishing the fact that they're about to taste elf flesh. You see one of them just get cold clocked across the face as Altier comes in, and as he gets his bearings up, Altier just comes up with this like Shoryuken uppercut, knocks him backwards, and he hits the ground dead. And you guys hear a sickening snap as his neck breaks. Anything else you want to do with your turn?
No.
Nice.
That brings us to Ollie. You got 2 dudes in front of you that have just killed Kevin. I've decided your axe beak is Kevin from now on.
Your decision, not mine. Are any of them? Do any of them look injured? Or is there?
The ones that came over by you don't really look that bad. Basically, any of the ones that have been injured thus far are dead for the most part.
Okay.
One of the ones
whichever
next
one's
to you
closest
has
to
a
me-
slight burn on his shoulder.
Oh, the one with the burn is the one with the burn.
Yeah, he's
I'll
still
make it
alive
worse.
somehow.
I'll make it worse and cast Sacred Flame on him.
Okay,
Dex
that's a
save.
save, right?
Yep, dex save.
These guys have awesome dex scores. Does a 9 work?
No.
In an alternate universe, yes.
Where
Yeah.
he has
Go
negative
ahead and roll
wisdom.
damage.
That is 12.
All right, so as it comes forward, you grasp your holy symbol, bring it forward, and this column of light comes down, searing him. You see his flesh bubble and burst as wounds appear, and they start to bleed a little bit heavier, despite his skin charring. Anything else you want to do with your turn? You're relatively certain you are no longer invited to brunch. And they had hummus.
Oh, I love hummus. Okay. I'll stay there.
Okay, it's their turn. So there's 2 left for Enna and Altier. You guys are each going to get Altier. The first one comes with this club, trying to destroy your head with a 14.
Miss.
All right, and then he comes over and tries to bash you with his shield with a 23.
Oddly, no, I'm kidding. That hits.
That is 5 piercing damage as you get smacked across the face with the shield and it cuts into you relatively deeply. And this one comes over and just tries to bite you with, an 8. And then it, after missing with that, it brings its club down on you. Another 8. He just tried to cuddle. You know, he seems a little misunderstood. Like like maybe he could use a friend. The other one, the one that you just roasted, Ollie, is going to try and bite you.
Okay.
14.
Nope.
Comes with his spike shield. Even that. That is the third 3 I have rolled in 4 rolls. Like, statistically, isn't that Powerball like super high right now? I need to get a Powerball ticket.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. It's pretty high right now.
The other one that's right next to him, watching him sit there nuzzling you, slaps him, tries to beat you. How's a 24 sound?
That sounds like it's gonna hurt.
5 points of bludgeoning damage.
Okay.
Combined with a 7. Well, now I'm rolling 2s.
I'm liking these new rolls.
I'm going to start using Roll20. Even that'll roll higher. That ends their turn. Brings us back up to Valdis.
If I move
You're
forward,
seeing some very bizarre things. One of the lizard men is like trying to spoon with Enna. Another one is like nuzzling Ollie.
How many could I get in a 15-foot cone, like to get the maximum number possible, depending on how I
Because
move?
they've kind of separated themselves, the maximum you're going to be able to get is 2. Because you have you have 2 separate groups now. You have one fighting Enna and Altier, the other group fighting Ollie with Lillian near them.
Who's been hurt the most?
I think Enna.
And are there 2 near Enna?
Yep.
All right, I'll target the 2 in my cone that are attacking Enna
Okay.
with burning hands.
Go for it.
Believe
What's
it's
the
a
DC?
dex. It is. Let me double check. 15 dex.
First one saves. Second one gets a nat 20. So go ahead and roll damage. They'll take half.
Come on, 3 1s. Make it more insulting. Close. A 1, 1, and a 2.
So that is 2 points of damage. So you guys watch as Valdis runs up, and you see him bringing his hands together, and as he spreads them apart a little bit, you can see this ball of fire in his hands, and he spreads it out, and the fire just fans out, and there's this huge wave of flame that goes over the head of both of the creatures, singeing off their eyebrows. Which, you look it up, you can't tell what's wrong at first, but there's something wrong. And maybe you should walk on the other side of the street.
I say in Draconic, you guys looked a little cold.
And they were like back. Now we can be in Hairspray. So, anything else you want to do with your turn, Valdis?
Cry to myself.
Okay, that's your minor action. Lillian, you're up. Yep. One of them just got hit by a column of light that caused it to burn and bleed. The other one looks fine. Okay. So you guys watch Lillian praying to Kelemvor. Please, Kelemvor, it's his time. I know it. You know it. That's actually a hit. Roll damage. 400 damage. You only hit once, but it's a doozy. 6 damage?
Yeah.
All right, so as you're coming forward, you swing your longsword, right?
Yeah.
Due to the fact that longsword is versatile, are you using it one or two-handed?
One-handed.
One-handed, okay. So you come by, you slash at it, you cut relatively deep, it's bleeding heavily, but it's still upright.
I can always everything. 15.
Was that a 15 or a 16?
15.
Okay. Still a hit. I guess it didn't really matter if it was a 15 or a 16. The armor class is 15. But you can't do enough. You can't do a little enough damage to not. He had 1 hit point. So as you sit there going bash, you go, "Thank you, Kelemvor," and then go boom, and take its head off its body and hit the ground. Anything else you want to do with your turn?
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay. That brings us to Enna. You have friends still. One of them's trying to spoon.
All right. So I'm going to take the one that's closest to me, closest to my heart, and try to take a bite out of me and say, I have been thinking about lizard fritters lately. I take my staff, turn it into a shillelagh, and just do a nice underhand right under the jaw.
Okay.
Or attempt to, anyways.
He has no eyebrows, by the way, so you're not sure if he's surprised or angry. Like, eyebrows say so much.
What'd you roll?
So a 24 to hit.
Definitely a hit.
24. And now I get to roll damage.
Yepers. Now, your video and audio are super out of sync, so once you roll damage, go ahead and reload the page.
Okay. 8 damage.
Damage, cool. So you sit there as this thing, and you just go thump. You watch its head go backwards, it comes back, it looks like it's bit its... Oh my word, that was such a bad idea. Wow. Oh, wow.
You okay?
Yeah. So, just a tip: if you've had surgery on your sinuses, throwing your head back quickly is a brand new experience.
Oh no.
Um, he's not dead yet. Anything else you want to do, Anna?
Can I pick up one of the shields that's lying on the ground?
Um, I'm gonna say it would to pick something up off the ground. I guess, yeah, to pick something off the ground, it would be an action. So
Okay.
no.
So I will end my turn then.
Okay. That really
Okay.
sucked. Wow. Um, Altier,
Okay.
don't do anything involving knocking their heads back.
Okay. I'm going to. I'm gonna stay in melee with the one I am in, but I'm gonna adjust myself so the one with Enna's behind me, and I'm going to stab back with my dagger against the one that's against Enna.
Okay.
That's a miss.
All right.
And then, as I feel myself whiff, I'm just gonna kick at the one that attacked me.
Okay.
19 to hit.
Definitely a hit. Roll damage.
6.
Anything else?
Nope.
Ali, you're up.
Sacred Flame again against the one that's been burnt before.
What's the DC?
15.
He makes it. Anything else?
Is that not half damage at that point?
Not on cantrips. Cantrips don't have a half damage mechanic, unfortunately. It's just on like full spells.
Yeah.
Yeah, the benefit of it is if you're in melee, you can still cast it. But due to the fact that it's a cantrip, you don't get the half damage.
And nothing else.
Okay. It's their turn. He's going to try and bite you. Ignore that. 12.
Nope.
Even lower. The one in front of Anna. 19.
That hits.
Okay.
I believe Enna's almost 16.
You have such lag right now. That's 5 bludgeoning damage, and the second one is 13, which I believe misses you. Okay.
Yeah.
So Altier, the one in front of you, 21. Can you hear me, Altier?
Yeah.
Okay, so 21 hit.
Yeah, that hits.
All right, 5 piercing damage as he bites you, and even higher for 5 piercing damage as he bashes you with his shield.
Okay.
That brings us back to the top. Faldus.
Really quick, can everyone say something really quick?
Hello.
Hi.
Howdy.
Hola.
Okay, because I've had to refresh like 6 times in the past. I don't know how long.
Roll 20, we love you.
Yeah, I really.
How
Those in
many
the
are
audience, we will be trying something different next week. We already have it planned. I don't know if it's going to work, but we're trying something different.
How many are relatively close to death?
None of them do. None
Okay.
of them. You can tell the ones over by Altier and Enna have been hit, but they're not really showing it. And the only surviving one over by Ali and Liliane looks pristine.
Who's missing decent amount of hit points?
I'm down 15.
Enna?
I'm okay.
All right, I'll just throw a healing word at Altier then.
Okay.
Hey, for 7.
Hey.
So Valdis speaks some magic words in Altier. You see your wounds start to knit together.
That was a bonus action. I can still firebolt, right?
You can still fire bolt, yes.
Yeah. Okay. I'll firebolt the weakest looking one.
Okay, that'd be one of the ones attacking. Again, until they hit half hit points, they don't really show that they've taken any damage. So they both look weak.
That's a 22 to hit.
That hits. Roll damage.
Ooh, 19.
So you sit there, point your wand. Another bolt of fire goes, incinerates one of these guys. Anna, you think he would have looked surprised, but you can't tell without the eyebrows. So he's gone. Anything else you want to do with your turn?
No, that's it.
Lillian. Go for it.
25.
It's definitely a hit. Lillian is gone. he's so surprised he hit. Lillian vanishes in puff of smoke. Just to keep things going, Anna, I'm going to have you go ahead and take your turn. As soon as Lillian returns, I will finish her turn. So, Anna,
Okay.
you're up.
I'm going to target the.
I'm going to refresh this to see if I can get them back, because both of them are gone now. Hold on. Roll 20, you're killing me, man.
Okay.
All right. I can see... Hold on a second. All right, I can see Anna. I can see Lillian. Lillian, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, can you roll damage for me? Because you cut out before you could roll damage.
That would be nice.
9? Cool. That's the wrong one. Here we go. All right. Do you want to make your second attack? We'll come back to you, Anna, I promise.
21.
Definitely a hit. Roll damage.
15.
Uh,
15.
And as you do that, you strike it once and you cut it clean. It comes down. You bring the sword up and you slop its head off. Now we go back to Anna.
So 18 to hit on my Cuddle Buddy.
Definitely a hit. Roll damage.
6.
All right. Still upright, but it looks bad. Anything else you want to do?
I will just say to him, yeah, do you know, I'm sorry, but do you know, does Lizard Man go good with barbecue sauce? I'm just curious.
He goes,
That's
Altier.
Okay. I mean, we suck at this because of how we treat them, but I'm going to try and take a prisoner.
Okay. So non-lethal damage is fine.
Yeah. 18 to hit.
Definitely a hit. Roll damage.
9.
And so as you sit there and he's hurting, you just come up and you smack him with your elbow, and you watch his eyes kind of roll up, and he hits the ground unconscious. And that, unfortunately, is where we're going to end it for tonight, because I am in a massive, massive amount of pain because I'm a dummy and did something I should not have done. So thank you so much for watching. I do have every episode, other than the one we're recording right now, on my YouTube channel. It's youtube.com/TrainerJody. So go ahead and check that out there if you would like to see the other exploits and adventures of this amazing group. You can also follow me on Twitter. I'm at Trainer Jody there. I normally will tweet before I go live. I didn't tonight because I'm in a lot of pain. And then obviously if you follow me here on Twitch, twitch.tv/Trainer Jody, you're already here. You'll know when I go live, and you can come and interact like DJ Artie did tonight. By the way, hi DJ Artie. Been a while. So anyway, that's all for me today, and I will see you guys next time, all right? Bye-bye.